Okay, so basically a pinhole camera, it's a simple camera. It doesn't have a lens, that is, it consists of no lens at all, and it has a small aperture, or what we call a pinhole. A small aperture is what we call a pinhole, which is always made in a light-proof box on one side of the light-proof box. So if you look at this diagram, it is basically a box. As you can see here, the hole is here. It is actually this hole which makes it to be called a pinhole camera. So it doesn't have a lens, but for it, it only has a small hole which is made on a light-proof box. That means that this box here, it is protected in such a way that light will only enter the box through this hole only. So on the other side of the box, there is what we call the screen. So this other side is made a screen. So this is the screen. These are the other sides of the box. So the light tight box with a hole on one side and a screen on the opposite side where the image is formed. So the image is always formed on the opposite side of the hole. That is, the screen is always the opposite side of the side where the hole is made. So how it works is that when light from an object or from a scene passes through the hole here. So in this case, if the object that we want to see is the tree, so when light from this tree passes through this hole, the image of this tree is projected on the screen as an inverted image. So that is, the image of this tree will be an inverted image. So the size of this tree on the screen, basically, it depends on the size of the image on the screen, depends on the distance the object is from the pinhole. This is the pinhole. The distance of the object from the pinhole determines how big the image will be on the screen. So the pinhole here also, it's a point where the rays from the object will intersect from. That is, if we are looking at the object as a tree, the ray from the bottom part of the tree since the pinhole camera always forms an inverted image. So the ray from the bottom part of the tree will move up to the upper part of the screen, and then the ray from the upper part of the tree forms the image on the lower part of the screen. So finally, we shall form an image which is real. A real image is one which can be formed on screen, so the image will be diminished, because remember, this is just a box, so you can't form an image which is bigger than the box. So that's why you say the image is diminished, or it is smaller in size than the object. And then the image is also inverted, or you can say it is upside down. So basically, these three are the major properties of the image that is formed by a pinhole camera. So another thing that we should know about the pinhole camera is that it is completely dark on all the other sides. So these other sides are always dark, are made to be completely dark. It is only the screen. It is only the screen which is, because we are supposed to see the image on the screen, so meaning that the screen here, it will be made to be a bit transparent or lucent, such that we can be able to see the image of the object. So that's why in most cases, these other parts here, they are painted These other parts, they are painted black, or they are given, they are made in such a way that light does not penetrate through them, and light will only enter through the pinhole for us to get an image which is clear. Okay. So another thing that we should know about the pinhole are the effects of the image on the pinhole camera. So when the object is closer to the pinhole camera, the size of the image increases. That is, when you bring the object closer to the pinhole camera, the size of the image that you form on this screen will be bigger. And when you take the object far away, or when the object is far away from the camera, the image which is formed on the screen will be smaller. So when we enlarge the pinhole, when you increase the size of the pinhole, remember we are supposed to use a small hole. That's why it's called a pinhole. That is, you should actually use a pin to make that hole. So when the hole is made larger, what happens to the image is that it becomes blurred. So a blurred image is one which is not clear. So the image becomes blurred, or it is not clear. Also, there will be more light entering. There will be more light entering the camera, and therefore the image will also be more bright. And when the light is too much, it means you'll not be able to see it clearly. That effect is what we call blurring of the image. Okay. So also when the distance between the pinhole and the screen is increased, that is, if let's say you use a box which is longer, it means you'll be increasing the distance between the pinhole and the screen. The image becomes less bright because the same amount of light is now spread over a large area of the image. So if you use a box which is longer, and it will make the screen to be far away from the pinhole. So that implies that the light which will be entering is the same light, but this time this light will be spreading over a larger distance. So that will make the image that you form to be a bit faint because the same amount of light is spreading over a larger area. Okay, so basically that is what we